So there are some domestic abuse survivors who worry that the ad will give away secrets, you know, a secret woman calling for a delivery to order a pizza when they're really calling 911. Do you believe that?
Well, I think it's really a rare occasion that someone would use exactly that scenario.
But these are based on, that ad was based on real calls.
It was based on one real call, yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a super spread tactic. Yeah. You know, there's millions of calls to 911.
Right, and people do order pizza. I mean, the one thing that I would say is the younger women and the younger boys I watched the game with, they thought the ad was too subtle. They started out saying, I wasn't sure what was going on. They don't read the hype like we do.
Well, that's what I meant when I asked him. I said, were you happy with it? Because you talked about placement, and we've discussed this before, whether it went over, some people said...
Too abstract. You know, one of the young women said, you know, this is an ugly issue. We thought it was building up to, we would see some of that ugliness. She was ready to talk about it, wanted to talk about it, but she did say that, you know, it should have been more impactful. There were other ads like the Throw Like a Girl. She said, that touched me, that grabbed me. This one was too soft.
I think it's interesting that you two, because Kim, you disagree, I think at least you did when last we spoke, because you thought that the ad was very powerful in its abstractness. You thought that you didn't have to show everything.
Because I sometimes think that people assume that if you have a bright purple bruise, therefore that means there's domestic violence. But there are other hidden things, and you know, that pertain to violence and sexual assault that sometimes are not so obvious. And so I kind of like the fact that there was some subtlety to it. It did generate some conversation because people were confused by it, and you got to talk about, you know, that there's a lot of shame attached to sexual assault and to domestic violence. So I think any way you look at it, people were talking about it, and for that, I give it an A+ in that regard.
Kim, it's a smart PR move because there have been so many players involved in domestic abuse charges in the NFL.
Well, you know, again, I'm a talker. I'm an advocate by nature. I run a nonprofit that works with teens, and we help kids make healthy decisions. So as far as I'm concerned, any opportunity you can to give kids the tools to make healthier decisions is a good one. When you look at the NFL, these are role models. Our kids are emulating these players, and I think that you really have to be very responsible when you're a professional athlete or any kind of professional, that what you do out there impacts young people.
You mentioned the amount of tweets and the amount of attention, but what about the actual amount of calls? Did this generate any more calls into?
It definitely generated more calls to the domestic violence hotline, 25% more. So definitely that's an impact. And I agree that starting the conversation will not stop violence, but it's the first step towards stopping it.
You know, Ray Rice's suspension, Roxanne, overturned. He became a free agent. He's able to play with any team. Do you think fans will welcome him back on the field?
I would hope not. I would hope the team wouldn't even welcome him back. What, like today? It just happened yesterday.
Well, not just today, but you don't think he deserves a second chance? I mean,
I believe in second chances, but I don't believe in yesterday you were wrong, like seriously wrong, and like today we forgive you. No, I think that he needs to go away, you know, work out his relationship and his issues or do something, but I'm not ready to take him back as a football fan, as a woman, as anything. And I would hope that he can't get a job for a while. He has some work to do, and that was a very serious, outside of football, that was a very serious abuse case, I think.
Do you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree.
Do you think that we are, meaning the American public and maybe the league, are too quick to forgive sports figures who have a history of domestic abuse, Kim?
Well, being that my brother was murdered by one, I would say yes. I think that we are a culture that is very quick to forgive someone when they're a public figure and they are on the big screen and they're entertaining us. I think that we should hold people a little bit more accountable. We are fans. We are paying, and I think that we should be holding them to a different standard. And I think Ray Rice and other men that follow suit have a little bit of repentance they need to be doing.